It's probably not that often that you would be sitting in an aircraft and thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be fun if it would suddenly nosedive? Except if you would be sitting in this aircraft, and Herpa made a model of it back in 2013, so let's take a closer look at it. And here she is, the Airbus A300 of Novespace. At the front of the box we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and at the top of the box we have the Novespace branding. And then of course we also have the back side of the box, and unlike with current releases from Herpa Wings, it's actually a pleasure to look at. Here we have a rendition of the aircraft, we have the original dimensions, and we even get a little bit of a backstory as to what the aircraft is actually used for, and we can see it is a limited edition. And here she is, the Airbus A300 of Novespace, and you probably already know that this isn't an ordinary aircraft that would be flying passengers around Europe, but an aircraft that was used by various European space agencies to simulate reduced gravity environment. And it would achieve that by constantly switching between a steep incline and a steep decline of its flight path. The aircraft that this model is based on was stored back in 2014 and is today part of a museum at the Köln-Bonn airport in Germany. But let us now focus on the aircraft model itself to see what that has to offer. And we start off with the tail section, where we on the fuselage have of course the full registration code of the aircraft, but also this larger design which shows the development of humans coming from their humble beginnings as an ape and then going all the way to a man in space, which we can see on the vertical stabilizer. And then of course we do also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust towards the very tail of the aircraft. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the writing of 0G, that's of course the purpose of the aircraft, and then we have the name of the airline that operates this aircraft, that's Novespace, and then we have a logo of the French Space Agency and the European Space Agency. Then we also have a little bit of detailing around the cockpit section, although not too much. We have the cockpit windows and the window wipers printed on, and that's about it. And we won't find many more printed details on the engine nacelles. They have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but we do have the silver leading edge, at least that. The physical detailing is overall, I think, quite okay. The model is from 2013, so I won't be overly critical about it, but overall I think it is actually quite decent. Also here, when we, for example, look into the engines from the front, very nicely you can see the engine fan blades. And then we should move on to the wings to take a look at those. And if we start off here with the top side, we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out rather nicely, but what I quite like here is actually the printed detailing here. I think that looks quite nice. The underside of the wings, that's decent, it's nothing spectacular, but at least we do find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. And I would say it's the same story when we look at the landing gear, nothing spectacular, but just solid work from Herpa Wings. It does the job. Of course, there could be some printed details here, but Herpa doesn't really do that, unfortunately. And then last but not least, and how could it be any other way, we of course also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the backside of the aircraft, and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A300 of Novespace from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, it will never go down in history as the best model that Herpa has ever made. For that, there are just too many details missing. Not that delivery offers many more details, but of course just the details that an aircraft has. Sensors, small hatches, stuff like that. If they had added that, the aircraft model would become much more lifelike. But of course it is also a 2013 release, and we should keep that in mind. So with all that said, I do still believe that it is a nice aircraft model and one that would be nice to have in one's collection, because I don't think that anyone would buy this just because it would have some additional detailing. I think the main reason to get this aircraft model is just because of the really interesting backstory to the aircraft model and that it is a one of a kind. Nonetheless, some additional detailing would of course not have hurt the model. Now with that we have reached reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.